in the class of design of steel structure. So we are learning the design of the gantry girder. I am Mr. S. Suvule, Assistant Professor Civil Engineering Department. So far we have learned the what is the gantry girder, forces coming on the gantry girder, specifications, and the design procedure of the gantry girder. So we are in between a problem. So in this problem we have calculated the maximum wheel loads, maximum reactions due to these loads, and the maximum shear force and maximum bending moment. We have checked it for the, or we have chosen the section with the help of maximum vertical bending moment, and those sections are ISWB 600 and ISMC 300. We are using it in combination. We have checked it for the vertical loads, and now we are going to check this thing for the horizontal or lateral forces. So far we have calculated uh, moment of inertia of this compression flange. So now the bending compressive stress, that is sigma BCY. So this bending compressive stress, that is this bending moment divided by the moment of inertia into 300 by 2. Why 300 by 2? Because we are taking the bending about this axis, that is YY. Sorry, this YY axis. So that is 300 depth, that is divided by 2, so that becomes 5143. Now we are adding both the compressive stresses, that is one because of this vertical loads, that is this here, and second is because of this lateral force, so that becomes 143.538, so which is lesser than this 181.5, so hence it is okay. Now we have to calculate the allowable bending stress, bending compressive stress, because in IS code it has been mentioned how to calculate this allowable bending stress. For that we need to find some factors that we'll see in this particular IS code. So here in IS code, here this thing has been mentioned, the maximum permissible bending compressive stress in beams and plate girders. So for that we have this formula, that is sigma bc equal to 166 into FB into Fy divided by FCB into Fy divided by FCP raised to n divided by Fy raised to n raised to 1 by n. So what is FCB? That is elastic critical stress in bending. So and Fy is the yield stress and n is the factor assumed, that is 1.4. So the things has been given below, that is next clause, how to calculate this elastic critical stress. So we have the formula, that is FCB equals to K1 into X plus K2 into Y into C2 divided by C1. So X we have the formula over here, Y we have the formula over here, but all these things has been given in the table below. So we are going to see those. Even K1 is the coefficient for the reduction of thickness of breadth of flanges between points of effective lateral restraints and depend on the psi, that is ratio of the total area of the both flanges at the point of least bending moment to the point of greatest bending moment. So in our case the ratio is 1 because we are not going to change the section. If the section has been curtailed, so that becomes a possibility. Then is K2 is a coefficient that allows the inequality in flanges depend upon the omega or small w, the ratio of moment of inertia of compression flange alone, that of the sum of moment of inertia of the flanges, each calculated about its own axis parallel to y axis of the girder. So on that we have the table, and there we will get the value of K2. C1 and C2 at the respective lesser and greater distances from the section neutral axis to the extreme fibers. So again moving into the problem, so we have this xi equals to 1 because we are not changing any section, and for that in the table we have the value of k1 is 1. Again, the omega or small w, the moment of compression flanges about y axis divided by moment of whole built up section. Remember, whole built up section. Here we are taking about the y axis. That's why we are adding now this 4702 plus this 6362, because we are putting the section like this. That's why we are taking ixx as a I. Remember all these things. So the MI of compression flange is 8713 as we have calculated earlier, divided by the whole section, that is 11,065, and the ratio becomes 0.7875. So for that value, so that is must be in between these two, that is 0.2 to 0.3. So we are getting K2, that is 0.28 by interpolating. The length we know, that is 8 meters. So again RYY, that is IYY divided by A, that is radius of gyration. So IYY we are having 11,065.1 into 10 to 4 divided by this 21602 area, that becomes 71.57, and this L by RYY, that is 8 into 10 to 3 divided by 71.57, that becomes 111.778. So mean thickness of the flange, that is this T plus, that is this, these are the thicknesses. So remember all the things what we are doing. So that thickness of flange is 28.9, adding to thickness. The overall depth of the girder, that is 600 plus 7.6, that is thickness of the channel, web, that is 607.6. So d by d ratio here, that is 607 divided by 28.9, that becomes 21.024. So from this value, that is L by R and D by T, from table number 6.5 we are getting X and Y, that is triple 1.778 and 21. It is between somewhere over here, that is L by R. D by 2 is 21.04, that is it should be between somewhere between these two values, that is this, and YY is between these two values. So by interpolating and choosing the things, we are getting the values, that is 331.964 and Y is 212.777. So the elastic critical stress by using this formula, so K1 is 1, that is 331.946 plus this K2 is 0.28 into 212.777 into this C1 by C2, that is 360.01 divided by 247, that is lesser and greater distances. So these are the distances what we have calculated earlier, that is 247 and 360. So we are getting this FCB, that is elastic critical stress, that is 571.61. So T by D ratio, that is 21.8 divided by 11.2, that is 2.15, which is greater than 2. So hence FCB is not increased by 20% as per IS 800. So by using this table again, we have to calculate the Fy. So FCV is 571. Another table has been given for 571. It is somewhere over here in between these two. For 250 we have to calculate. So it is between 135 and 136. So by interpolating, we are getting this F sigma V says 135.58, which is again increased by 10. So the permissible bending in compression is 1.1 into 135, that is 149.138. So, and we have the value that is 143.538, which is lesser, 143.538, which is lesser again, hence it is okay. Now the longitudinal forces. Let the height of rail is 75 mm and horizontal forces along the rails, that is 5% of the static wheel load. So here you can see this horizontal forces, that is 5% of static wheel load. So what we have here is wheel load is 161 into 2, that is 16.1, that is 5%, and the bending movement due to longitudinal force, that is 16.1, that is this load, into 247, that is this distance from CG to top fiber, and we are adding the rails into it, that is 75. So we are getting the value, that is 5193.699 kilonewton per mm. So the stresses in longitudinal direction, that is force divided by area and moment divided by the z, that is section modulus. The forces are 16.1 into 10 raised to 3 divided by the area, that is this, and the bending moment divided by the this I into this y. So we are getting this value, that is 1.694, which is very small, hence it is negligible. So we have checked the forces in all direction, and this we have calculated the stresses in three directions and checked it for the allowable stresses, and hence by checking all these things we can say this uh, gantry girder is safe. So this is the end of problem. These are the references for this particular problem. Thank you.